Hey friends, this is Eric the Mind Control Guy. How's everybody doing today? I just got done watching some videos. I went to go check emails this morning. It's my day off. I work for my day off. I don't just lay around and freeload all the time. I work 5 days a week. I drive a lot of miles every week to work. I haul groceries for a living. And I take them to all these stores. Rain, sleet, snow, ice, 100-degree weather. Doesn't matter. I get up every morning and I go to work the way a responsible person does. I don't freeload. I was just watching a little bit ago and one of these emails came through. I'm like, what the heck's this? It said, Minneapolis unrecognizable after second night of rioting and looting. I think they're up to like 4 or 5 nights now. I'm like, what the hell? So I was watching some of these videos. These typical ghetto crowd breaking into these stores. I think one of them was a Dollar Tree. And there were other stores, breaking into these stores, not even trying to steal anything, just knocking over displays, knocking over product, knocking over, and laughing about it. Taking grocery carts and just hurling them here and hurling them there, just knocking stuff over. You know, there's been movies and books written over the years, decades I should say. Posters I remember seeing when I was growing up back in the 70s. I was born in the 60s. I remember growing up in the 70s, and I remember people having posters of what a future America would look like. And it showed big cities in this country, United States of America, left in ruins. Left in ruins. Was it fear-mongering? All these other BS words that the leftists like to use? People saw what was coming. People saw the future, saw what was coming. And because of what's been going on, hell, you want to say the last year or so? Nah. We can go back decades. But I would say in the last 40 years, I mean, there was Miami riots 3 or 4 times, and then riots all over the country. Everybody got to get in the act. Every time they get pissed off about something, let's go destroy businesses. Let's yank people out of the car and beat the crap out of them just because. And now with these communist professors and teachers in our schools that Joe McCarthy warned us about decades ago, now we see what we got. A bunch of idiots. A bunch of leftists. You see, the communists figured they couldn't invade and take over this country. It's like that old, it was a Japanese general or something. He said, we couldn't invade the United States. There's a firearm behind every blade of grass. Firearm behind every blade of grass. We can't invade. Hell, even if we could go toe-to-toe with the military, look at them civilians. A lot of them old country boys, hell, they're deer hunters, basically a bunch of snipers. They know their territory. We don't. We get our ass kicked. So what's been done? Get younger generation after younger generation after younger generation for at least 3 generations. And they will have the country destroy itself. What do we got? What do we have? Every time you turn around, somebody wants to get pissy about something, and there's another riot. Destroying buildings, destroying property, home invade. And people get all pissy when I use the term, or other people use the term, you know, the coming Civil War. It ain't going to be the North and the South. I doubt it's even going to be, you know, people fighting the government. It's going to be people fighting each other. Talk about the haves and the have-nots. How about the people that work for a living and the freeloaders? How about the people, the decent people of society versus the criminal element of society? How about that? And what I saw, just a little bit I saw in those videos this morning, and I'm sure there's a lot more videos on YouTube and other forms of social media with everybody got in a camera phone. I'm sure there's all kinds of really nasty footage about what's going on up there in Minneapolis and other parts of the country. Hey, they're rioting. Let's go out and riot too. And the politicians like Nasty Pelosi, Chucky Boy Schumer, Dianne Feinstein, man, always interesting names. The only thing they can think of to do is to take our firearms away. We don't think you have the right to self-protection against these thugs. You know, I've said on videos before, for the intelligence communities that watch my videos and other people's videos, all videos are watched. Law enforcement, all that. It's time to bring back the water cannons. It's time to go do things like in a Black Ops mission. Have your specialized individuals start rounding these sons of bitches up. All these punk-ass bastards and their leaders, these communist professors, they're poisoning the minds of these young people from grade school all the way to the universities. Start rounding these bastards up. Just like in a Black Ops mission, off the books. Sleeping gas the areas. You know who they are. Start snatching them up. Drop them off at these islands where they still got headhunters and cannibals. And somebody was bitching and whining about saying that. Okay, throw them out. Take them 400 or 500 miles out to sea and just start throwing them overboard. Let the sharks have them. Well, that's inhumane. Who freaking cares? Look at what these assholes are doing to our cities. And even the smaller communities. I was watching a couple videos a day or so ago. Chattanooga, Tennessee. At one time, Chattanooga, just like Memphis, just like so many southern and midwestern towns, was a beautiful, nice, by the river, by the lake, just really nice communities. Now they're nothing but gang-infested slums. Gangs making their own videos. Hell, they got phones just like I do. They got social media. They got all that. They videotape themselves doing the dumb crap that they do. Ghetto mentality is what destroyed America's cities. You can be poor and not destroy your environment. I've been homeless 4 times. I don't have a criminal record. Why? I wasn't out doing criminal bullshit. That's why. A lot of people have had it rough. They didn't go out and get engaged in criminal activity and come up with a bunch of lame-ass excuses because their communist teacher told them they're justified in any criminal activity they do. But all these businesses that are being destroyed in Minneapolis, Portland, Seattle, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Charlotte, all over. Whenever there's a riot, these jackasses got to go out and destroy people's businesses. What I personally think, a lot of these are chain businesses. They got hundreds and hundreds of businesses all across the country. Provide goods and services for the various communities. And these bastards want to go out and destroy them because they got some cause. Well, for the owners of any of those communities, and to the jackass that keeps following my videos around, always giving me a thumbs down, you know, fuck you. You're some little pissy ass little bitch that all you want to do is, yeah. Because you are one of the chicken shit little pussies that I talk about. I'm sorry to use that kind of language, people, but you know what? It just pisses me off when I see some things out here going on. You know, all these bastards want to do is defend thugs. You have little girls who unfortunately have to grow up in some of these horrible neighborhoods that get shot in the head while they're doing their homework by some homie chicken shit gangster doing a drive-by. I'm a badass. And a little girl gets killed doing her homework. Nobody is rioting for that. Nobody is calling for the head on a platter of the son of a bitchin' triggerman that did that. No, they want to defend homeboy. That Dante jackass up there that was shot by the cop, because in the heat of the moment, she grabbed her sidearm instead of her taser. I was listening to the Officer Tatum videos, podcast. Black feller, former police officer. He was on SWAT for 5 or 6 years. And Officer Tatum has taken it upon himself to go over all these different incidents from a police officer's perspective and a regular, rational thinking human being's perspective. You think people like me go off, you ought to listen to Officer Tatum. He bleeps himself. But listen to Officer Tatum. He's got a lot of subscribers. I like Officer Tatum. I respect Officer Tatum. I watch his videos all the time. Seeing it come from a police officer, a former police officer's perspective. And if the cops are wrong, he'll call it out. But what got that dipshit Dante Williams in that position in the first place? I don't know if his last name is Williams. Dante shithead, as far as I'm concerned. What got him in that position in the first place? Expired tags. That's what got him. That's why they pulled him over. Expired tags. Forget all the bullshit that the media's tell you. Expired tags. Officer Tatum went and checked some stuff out about this asshole. And I'm using some colorful language here because just like a lot of regular Americans, we're pissed as hell. We're fed up with this shit. Fed the hell up. And come to find out, this punk-ass bitch is 20 years old. And what do you have a warrant out for? What did he get in trouble for? Mugging an old woman at gunpoint? Yeah. Criminal behavior. He's 20 years old. He's making videos. Officer Tatum was showing the videos. This little bitch. 20 years old. He got a handgun. He's smoking a blunt. Got a bottle of Hennessy. There was at least one video, I think maybe even two different ones. You're engaged in this kind of behavior. That punk was destined for one of two places. Prison or the graveyard. Going to the graveyard now, if he's not already there. It just so happened he ended up in the graveyard at the hands of a police officer. But he put himself in that position for not taking care of business. One of his videos, he had a bottle of Hennessy, he had a blunt, and he had a bunch of cash. Well, hey, Holmes, why did you take that cash and go take care of your tags? If you would have taken care of your tags, you never would have been in that position to begin with, and you would still be alive today. Minneapolis would not be burning again. That officer would still be working. That Dante shithead brought this whole thing on himself. Even if the officer did tase him, you still don't think they wouldn't have been rioting for that? They riot just to riot. Reminds me of the second book of Peter, chapter 2. These are natural brute beasts that count it as pleasure to riot in the daytime. Go check it out. You can be a brute beast and be any shade. But it actually says those words. Count it as pleasure to riot in the daytime. Having eyes full of adultery while they feast with you. Curse government. Isn't that what we're living today? Regardless of what shade anybody is, all that stuff that was described in the second book of Peter chapter 2. Those very few verses, that's exactly what we're living today. But anyway, before I get off of here, for all of those businesses who are being destroyed, regardless of what city or town they live in, by a bunch of jackass rioters, my suggestion is, after they destroy your business, don't reopen. Take the insurance money, close up shop, bring in a crew, and have that building bulldozed down and leave it a vacant lot with a billboard there. We brought goods and services to your community, and your local residents destroyed our business. So sorry, we're no longer going to service your community. You don't need to be pissed off at us. You don't need to be pissed off at the police. Be pissed off at the people who destroyed this business that we have now removed from your community. And all those pictures and posters I remember seeing from the 70s that showed American cities left in ruins. Instead of a caveman with a club, it was a guy dressed in rags and he had a steel pipe. And these leftists, these little bitch-ass chicken shit, woke little bastards, that every time they get butt hurt, they want to go out and destroy something and think they're justified. These little punk-ass bastards is the reason why this country is going to eventually again fight itself. You might be young and full of testosterone and all that kind of stuff, but let me give you a little word of advice, you little punk-ass woke bitch. Old age and treachery will overcome youth and skill. Remember that. You remember that. There's a lot of old guys out here. When the gloves come off and they don't have to worry about getting arrested or going some jail or prison for beating your chicken shit ass, you remember, when the gloves come off, your ass is going to go down. Hell, in those videos I watched this morning, oh, they were laughing it up, rioting and doing this. When the cops decided to turn loose the dogs, basically they started firing on them. They ran like the little chicken shit bitches they are. My apologies for using such colorful lingo today. But I tell you what, it had to be said. I had to say it the way I said it. I'm sick to damn death, as many rational Americans of every shade, of every age, of every category you can think of. The responsible Americans are sick and tired of these leftist bastards, regardless of what shade they are, tearing up this country, terrorizing this community, these gangs who are nothing but domestic terrorists. Anyway, it's my day off and I got to go take care of business. One of the things I got to do is I got to renew the tags on one of my trucks before they expire. You see, that's what a responsible American does. That's what a responsible adult does. I'm going to go renew my tags. And unlike that dumb shit Dante asshole, I won't have to worry about getting pulled over by anybody in law enforcement for expired tags, because my tags will be up to date, because that's what a responsible American does. We take care of business the right way. Thank you for listening. This is Eric the Mind Control Guy, signing off once again. And as you can tell,